Hello, beautiful people. My name is Kyle, and you're watching my run of 21 Windrunner Spire on my Blood Death Knight that was timed. Also, you see a face cam in the corner there. I was streaming this live, so if you want to come check out my streams, twitch.tv Kyle Talks. There's what I'm running. There's my current talents. That's what I'm currently wearing, and this run was a good run. This was a Resil key from the warrior, and I believe this was our second run. I had to change up the talents a little bit, but here we go. This is the first pool. You want to less this pool because this is a rather large pool. What's scary about this pool? Really, not much. These Spellguard Maguses will cast big AoE damage to everyone, so you want to be on the lookout for that. As well as these Restless Stewards will cast Spirit Bolt that deal a lot of damage to you. So what you want to do is interrupt these Spirit Bolts, and then when the Spellguard Maguses do their big AoE damage, just press your button and hope it goes well. And you see those big old blue bubbles that reduces damage by like 90% for the ads. Doesn't work for you, so you just want to move the ads out of that. Not a crazy pool, not much to it, and I'm moving a lot in my cam. It's because I'm listening to like Russian hard bass as I'm doing this ski live, so there's that. So for these pools on the side, you want to avoid that Restless Steward. Why you want to avoid that Restless Steward is because you want to keep the pool going. You don't want a lot of casters in your pack, and you just want to keep on moving forward and grabbing a big pool. So this is a big pool. As you see, I grabbed those two Doo-Doo Keepers. I run past them, grab this one Restless Steward with the Dragon Hawk, and grab all the spiders, and we game. What's scary about this pool? Really not much for your group or for your tank. The biggest thing I'll say is this Territorial Dragon Hawk will do something called Fire Spit. So what you have to do is just CC it, grip, stun, anything like that, because that Fire Spit deals a lot of damage. As well as the Restless Steward here, you just want to interrupt the Spirit Bolts. That's easy. And also, as these Spiderweb hatchlings die, they just leave goop on the floor. You want to avoid that. As you see, the pack of dice down, the dragon is dead, and just those dutiful keepers left. So I'm going to continue to chain here. And the mindset is, well, the dutiful groundskeepers just deal melee damage to the tank. So since there's only like 4 of them, I'm going to continue to do a pull. So we pull this whole bottom area right here. The links with the trappers, the Wrestler Steward, and all these spiders. This pull is hectic, but not too scary because you can almost avoid every piece of damage going out here. So what happens is your spiders are going to leave goop on the ground. You have a Restless Steward casting. Make sure you interrupt that. These scouting trappers will leave frozen traps on the ground. My druid will get hit by one, as you can see right there. And on top of that, this Apex Lynx will do Ferocious Pounce. He'll pick 3 team members. They'll put a circle around you, and he'll jump, deal big damage to you. And also for our tank friends, Apex Lynx will also do something called Puncturing Bite, which is a big dam on you, and it leaves like a CC, or it leaves a dot on you. Besides that, like I said, this pool seems scary. It definitely can feel scary if you're not being coordinated or pressing your buttons. But you do interrupt, you do a little bit moving around, you can time this key, or you can do that pool. This is big pool coming up here. So I grab these 2 dutiful keepers, and I grab all of these little pesty lashlings. So this is a big pool here. Not really all that scary, but you can see there's a lot of pesty lashlings. And if you look at my D-bus, I have 9 stacks of something. I forgot what it's called, but it makes you take more damage as a tank. So that's why this pool can be scary, because you're going to take a lot of tank damage. That's why I wait a little bit here. I let some of these pesty lashlings die, and I go into this bloated lasher and the last 2 packs of pesty lashlings. If you're playing just a statistically better class, you can pull them all at once. This is a 21. You obviously don't need to, right? We timed this, spoiler alert. But it would be faster just to pull them all at once. Once a few of those pesty lash rings die, I go and pull the last pack with 2 territorial dragonhawks with the bloated lasher. So what's going on in this pull? What do you really have to look out for here? You have the bloated lasher who does a cast fungal bolt, and he does that big old AoE called spore disposal, which puts a dot on everyone. So just interrupt. And then for these territorial dragonhawks, again, they will cast fire spit. You just interrupt those CC, stun, all those kind of things. So this pull is scarier than the last, in my opinion. But if you're smart about it, press your buttons, this is doable. So as those dies, I'm gonna bring funnel in for the next boss. You see, I grab these 2 dutiful keepers and all those pesty lash rings, and I start making my way towards the boss. The reason why we do this is because this accomplishes count, so enemy percentage, and we get to kill a boss. And on top of that, we get to kill the boss faster because of what I like to call funnel. They have more targets, they can deal more damage, so it kind of works out. It's like a 3 for 3 here. So we bring this adds into the boss, we do all of our melee DPS things, and you'll notice that I'm tanking the boss here against a wall. Now, why am I doing this? Great question. If you notice, we are running an off-meta comp. This is a very off-meta comp, and I just want to say you can time 21s with an off-meta comp, just to put that out there. On top of that, the reason why I'm taking that close to a wall is because in the name of uptime. So I want to keep uptime up as much as possible. What does uptime mean? Good question. It means that our DPS can touch the boss. They can hit the boss, they can melee the boss when they're doing those circles. You see those circles on the ground? So if the boss was tanked in the middle, these DPS would have to run away, they'd have to touch the wall and then come back to the boss, which is fine, but that creates downtime in DPS, which is a DPS loss. So if I tank the boss near an edge here, my melee DPS can always hit the boss even when dropping their puddles. And that's all it is. The boss goes into this burning gale phase where he points and shoots a big fire wave. I put it, and also we have a lot of ticking damage here, which is why you saw me put AMZ down earlier in this run, or earlier on this pull. Our druid dies just a dot damage. That's okay, because we have a battle res. We are good to go. I pull the boss to the wall, and it's just rinse and repeat from here. Last thing I'll mention is you want to watch out for these fire tornadoes. So these fire tornadoes will kill you. How will they kill you? Good question. They are going to stun you and deal big fire damage. So you just want to be careful of that. But besides that, that's pretty much it for the boss. Take him. I'm streaming. This is a stream key. Once again, check out my stream. It's linked in the description if you want to see me stream these keys. But that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy from this boss. You take him near the side of the wall, you keep your dots, or excuse me, you keep the uptime up, you avoid these fire tornadoes and fire blast, and you game. There's really not much to this fight. This fight can be stressful. It's certainly not stressful for us tanks. I don't care what class you're playing, but this can be stressful because there's a lot going on for your DPS. I also forgot to mention, Ember Dawn does a tank buster called Searing Beak, which does physical dam and leaves a fire dot on you. If you're a Blood Death Knight, you can just AMS through that, and you won't even get the dot on you if you press AMS. If you don't, not a big deal. You can just heal yourself through Death Strike. Also, for my tanks, Ember Dawn will cast Searing Beak twice. So you'll see me, I'll AMS the first one and just heal through the second one. This boss does phase early at 4%. And so let's go into our lust pool, and this will be a big pool, and this will be a lust pool. You're gonna notice a lot of the same tech here too. So on these sides, we want to avoid these restless stewards. Why? Because they cast, they're a pain in the butt to pull around. So we want to avoid these restless stewards as much as humanly possible. You can see we have the shroud, and we pull these 2 duty keepers. The duty keepers run to the middle for some reason. I don't know why they do that, but here we go. So we get these duty keepers, we grab this pack, we grab this devoted Woebringer, and we grab this ardent cutthroat, and we just stay here and we game. We plant our feet, we deal big damage, we have lust, we have a lot going on. What's going on in this pool? This pool is definitely on the scarier side, I will say. Why? Because this, first of all, you have the devoted Woebringer. As you can see, they do a shield and do something called pulsing shriek. You have to get through the shield and then interrupt their pulsing shriek, which is massive AoE damage to everyone. Your fervent apothecaries will drop that green goop on the ground. That green goop deals big damage. You just want to get away from that. As well as your ardent cutthroats will teleport and like backstab someone. They are London RPers, so you just want to be careful of that. They'll teleport to you, backstab, and if they get their cast off called poison blades or poison tips or something like that, yeah, you're just dead if they teleport you. So there's a lot of interrupts, there's a lot of backstabbing, random teleporting, and there's a interrupt mechanic with the Woebringer, and you also want to avoid green on the ground. This is a very mobile section of the pool. Poison blades, got the interrupt there, and we just go on from the pack. This group handled it very well. We just got it done, and now we start going to the next pack. So on this pack, we get a cutthroat, we get 2 cutthroats, apothecary, and the behemoth. You do not want to chain this with anything. For my tanks out there, maybe if you're like in an 8 or a 9 or a 10, a low key, you can chain this. If you are doing anything 18 above or 18 or above, do not chain this. You may feel like this is not enough, but this pool is scary, so you do not chain this pool. Why? You have the 2 ardent cutthroats who are going to do their London RP and stab you. You have the fervent apothecary, which is going to drop the goop on the ground, and you have this flesh behemoth who will cast fetid spray, put green stuff on the ground, move from that, and it'll also do a tank buster called brutal chop, which will just, like he's casting now, it's going to do 1 big hit to you as a tank. We eat that hit and you just move on. You do not want to stack this because there's lots of movement, there's lots of stuff going on. You just want this pool by itself. Here's the fetid spray. We just move the boss and we are gaming. As a rule of thumb, at around 10%, I start thinking of the next pack. So as this goes to dies, as this fetid spew, I should move into the next pack. So this pack, we have a Void Weaver, and we have a Void Weaver. We have 2 regular Reavers. I pop purge trying to pull this because I didn't play that properly. What I could have done differently there is gather a little bit better. But what's going on in this pool? You have 2 Reavers, you have an Apothecary, you have a Cutthroat, and you have a devoted Woebringer. So the Woebringer is going to do the big AoE, the shield, you have to get it down. The Reavers are going to, we have goop on the ground. We have some London RPers who are going to stab you. You have interrupts, you have poison blades. Now what you want to do here is once that Woebringer dies, you want to chain the rest of this into the boss. You might think to yourself, Kyle, why are we doing that? In the name of, we get to kill a boss, we get uptime, we get cleave damage, all those things. So that's why we do it. And the pack is already close to dead too, so it's not too big of a deal. You want to chain this into the boss. This boss really is not all that scary for us tanks. You don't want to be scared by this boss. This is a team scary fight. What do I mean by team scary? So you'll see first things, we'll have these green puddles around us where we drop goop on the ground. And on top of that, Callus, the witch here, will cast something called Shadow Bolt You just want to make sure that is interrupted. We'll do something called heavy yank, where Callus is doing AoE damage. You've seen that before. I think we've seen that before, right? You're starting to notice the patterns here. They'll do a big AoE cast, and the only way to stop this cast is having the big patchwork guy grip and pull that shadow out of it, so it stops doing big AoE damage to us. So do the interrupts, drop your green puddles off to the side, and then latch the big patchwork Hulk looking guy. We'll also have a mechanic called Brutal Chop. Again, it just deals big damage to your tank. It's your tank buster. You just heal through it. That's essentially this fight. There's nothing really to this fight. The biggest thing, especially on higher keys, is you want to be careful of the cast. The cast is really what's going to kill you in this fight, and that's what I would be careful of. So again, debilitating shriek is going out. The only way to stop it is get the hook, and now we are good to go. And now from here, it's just rinse and repeat. Interrupt the boss, drop your green puddles off to the side, and when the boss casts Brutal Chop, you just eat it as a tank, and you kind of just game. There's really nothing to this fight. Bone Hack goes off. There's the tank buster. We're gonna take damage there, and then also the ghost will do something called Curse of something. It's gonna summon an ad that you don't want to touch you. You can decurse this ad. You can slow this ad. It's not really a mechanic. I mean, it's a mechanic, but you can deal with it so easy. It's not really too big of a deal. But that is the fight. Really nothing to it. I know I feel like I said a lot of words, but it's really not all that scary here. So if one dies before the other, also I'll add they get enraged, but we kill this boss. Let's go into the next big pool. So this pool is scary. I would say this is the scariest pool in all of the dungeon. Why? So we start doing a gather, we get every single mob to the end of the platform here. Now, what is scary about this pool? Well, there's 3 archers in this pool. Why these archers will scary? Because as you can see, they do something called shoot and arrow rain, which requires you to move heavily, and their shots deal some damage to you. So what I would recommend, whether you're a tank, DPS healer, is CC these swift shot archers as much as you can. Grip them, stun them, soft CC, anything that interrupts their shoot cast. You cannot interrupt this cast, but you can pull them, again, stun them, anything like that. So you just want to make sure on this big pool, you have 3 swift shot archers, which are very scary. Do your best to grip, stun, etc., etc. Outside of that, you have phalanx breakers. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. What they're going to do is they'll do an interrupting shout. So you have to stop casting or it'll deal damage to you. It's going to deal damage to you either way. It's going to do that big straight line and run through it. If you get caught in that line, spoiler alert, you are dead. We made quick work of this pack, and let's head into big pool number 2 before our boss. There's only 2 pools, and then we hit the boss. The soldier's gonna go away. These grunts come out. I blood boil to grab aggro. I grab these 2 marauders. I grab the grunt, the warg. I kick the caster, and I pull these 2 axe throwers. Big pull right here. And the reason why this pull in particular is scary is because there's a lot going on, as you can tell. There's AoE from the Mythic. There's 2 axe throwers that are like the archers, but instead of being an archer, they throw axes at you. There's big AoE spins that you want to avoid from the marauders and grunts. So this is a big pool. There's actually a lot of damage just going out on this pool. On top of that, this Mystic will cast heroism for all the ads, and the ads are gonna do more damage. Oh man, this is a scary pool. This might be scarier than the previous pool. So what you wanna do is you wanna interrupt this Mystic. You wanna grip, stun these axe throwers as much as you can to avoid them throwing their axe. And as well as you want to just move out the way or stop the whirlwinds from going off if possible. Once the big Mystic dies, you see I move into the next pack with the Mystic. So I go from one Mystic into another. I grip everything to stop the damage there. As you see, there's the interrupt. There's throw axes that we want to get rid of. And there's the big AoE on the ground. This is just the same thing as last pool. This pool is the same as the previous pool, just less. So there's more of it going on here, but you're really dealing with the same thing. So once this pack dies, again, in the name of funnel and getting boss percentage and stuff done, I grab this lingering marauder and warg. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna get us to our last 2%. We get to drag on the boss, so we get count, we get a boss kill, and on top of that, we get funnel, so we deal more damage to the boss because there's more targets, especially for our warrior. For this boss, he'll do something called Reckless Leap. It will cast on a DPS first, and then you have to be as far away as possible from the person receiving Reckless Leap to get it. This is very important as the tank. So I want to spend some time here on that Reckless Leap mechanic. He's going to target a DPS and jump. The person farthest away from the boss gets targeted with that Reckless Leap, and it deals a lot of damage. So you see it gets targeted by my warrior. I start running the opposite direction, so I get targeted. I get it, he drops it, and we just go from there. So my biggest piece of advice for tanks out there, please make sure that you are running away and getting this mechanic. He's also going to do something called Rampage, which is just a lot of single target damage to you as a tank, and that's our tank buster. There's Reckless Leap. I'm running far away again, so I get targeted with it. I kind of inch closer to the group so they don't have to run too far, and we go from there. The hat, what he'll do as well is he'll do Rallying Cry, which just summons ads. So we're ad gamers now. He's gonna keep on doing his Beyblade of Death, and he'll keep on doing that until all the ads are dead. These ads will look familiar. You have the Mystic, who deals big fire damage and has the interrupt. You have the grunts, and as well you have the axe throwers who will throw axes. And that's rinse and repeat this fight. He'll do Rampage, which is the tank buster. He'll do the Reckless Leap, which we want to make sure we get the second one as the tank, and he'll summon ads. So there's the Reckless Leap. I'm running away, so I get targeted. I move a little bit closer to the group so I don't have to run too far. We all stack so we don't get feared, and we game. This fight is essentially just rinse and repeat from here. Ads will come. Fears, you want to make sure you have the tank buster. Tanks want to make sure you get the second Reckless Leap, and we go from here. Not too much, just a pretty straightforward fight, but execution, as always, is what matters here. So as this boss dies, you're gonna see a mechanic that are where apparently Arms Warriors doesn't deal a lot of damage. So you'll notice when this boss dies, our warrior is gonna say, hey, I'm gonna go switch specs. I don't play warrior, no idea what he's talking about, but apparently whatever spec he does doesn't deal good damage on a single target boss. So you'll notice as we get to the top here, you can't see it because my face cam is covering the chat. The warrior says, porting, I'll be back, I'm changing my spec. So he runs and he's doing whatever he does to change his spec. He comes back and he's gonna do more damage to the boss. If you are a warrior main, or if you understand why he does this, can someone tell me why this happens? Is there a certain like tree that just does more damage, single target for Arms Warriors? I don't play Arms Warriors, so I don't understand this. It works out obviously, but can someone just let me know? I'm saying I'm waiting for warrior because I'm just waiting for warrior. He's like, yeah, I know. Yes. Sorry, I was, yeah, so there comes the warrior. He comes back, there he is, and we go straight into the boss here. So the Restless Heart, what's crazy about this boss? Really nothing. This is a kind of normal boss, nothing crazy. So if I'm tanking, I see all those circles on the ground, I just move the boss, and we get to gaming. So what's this boss gonna do is you can put arrows on the ground, and if we're, we can just ignore this mechanic. So as you can see, I get knocked up right here on accident. As you can see, this Sylvanas ghost is gonna put big old floor stuff and you have to dodge it by jumping up. If you're a DK, you can be blood, frost, and it doesn't matter what spec you are, you can completely ignore this mechanic and not get jumped up. So as you saw, when that circle came to me, I just pressed anti-magic shell and we were good. I didn't have to do anything else. As you see, there's arrows near us. I move the boss. They have a tank buster here, which sends me back flying and deals big damage. And then the DPS get a circle to clear the arrows on the ground. And that's just wanting to make sure so you have room to run. And that's essentially the fight. Like there's not much to it. You have the big tank buster. Bolt Gale will cast on a DPS where they take big damage. You want to move the boss away from the arrows. You want to AMS if you're a Death Knight of any kind to avoid the line damage. And go on from here. Again, tension here. You want to usually get knocked up by arrows to avoid this line. But we can keep uptime up as Death Knights. So this circle is coming for us. We don't have to take anything. We just press AMS and we don't take damage. So this is really important for tanks, so we can keep our uptime, we can keep damage, but probably even more important for my Unholy Death Knights and Frost Death Knights out there, because you guys are really good. You guys deal a lot of damage, so you want to make sure you're hitting the boss as much as humanly possible. And that's the fight. There's the Tempest Slash that we're going to take damage there. The DPS are going to move to get these arrows out of the way. And it's just rinse and repeat, and we go from there. Enjoy the rest of the fight. There's 20% left of the boss, but we do time this. Spoiler alert. This is my third time 21. So at the time of this recording, I have 3 21s timed. I'm going for the 1% now, and it's looking good. So thank you for this team comp. Thank you for you guys for listening to this video. Hopefully you got something useful out of this. And if you did, leave a like, leave a comment. What did you learn? What did you like? And if you want to catch me live streaming these keys live every weekday, you can check out my Twitch link, which I'm also putting in the show notes here. I'm having a great time pushing, a great time talking to you guys. And as the last note, WoW is my hobby. Talking to people is my passion. I do have a podcast called the Kyle Talks Podcast. If you're interested in talking to people who have lost 500 pounds, billionaires, paid protesting on whether it's real or not, I talked to one of their CEOs, so please check that out if you're so inclined. But if you're just here for WoW, let's enjoy it. We have 321s now. I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.